Hey guys, this isn't just poetry. This is a letter that was never sent. A royal truth sealed behind the walls of silence, between a crowned heart and the woman who waited through every season. What you are about to hear isn't a tale written in ink, but one carved in glances, in moments, in all the things they could never say it out. It's not a fiction, it's not history. It's a heartbeat wrapped in words. So listen closely, because what follows is the story of love that was too sacred to be spoken until now. It's everything they couldn't say, wrapped in silence, whispered through time. Listen, not with your ears, but with the ache you have hidden the longest.
Even when the crown waits, love still drains. The silence in the throne room. The news broke not with thunder, but with silence. A silence so deep it echoed louder than war drums. A crown sat untouched on polished glass, while behind locked doors a father folded his arms. "Not now," he said, voice sharp as unshattered steel. "Not her," said the council. "Yes, older than reason. Not this way," whispered traditions through painted walls. And the prince, once fearless, stood frozen in royal pain. He had held battles, conquered sand, ruled storms, but never heard he fought love's rejection. She was not a rebellion, she was a prayer. And yet, even prayers were paused when kingdoms feared change. He bowed the day, not to the father, but to the weight of what he couldn't protect. And when the echo died and the curtains fell, the world outside still thought wedding bells would ring. But inside, silence became the anthem of longing. The pause of wedding. The fabrics were chosen. The gold was ready. The deed had once danced on invitation of ivory. But now, time felt traitorous. Postponed, not forgotten, but postponed. No one used the word cancelled. Even pain refused that cruelty. They said, soon, inshallah. But hope whispered, how long must love wait? He walked through the halls like a ghost in silk, every candle flickering with memories of the life he almost touched. The throne room felt larger now, emptier. He still heard her laughter in the gardens, still saw her scarf on his balcony railing, still felt the heat of her goodbye hug in the folds of his formal robe. And the crown, oh, the crown. It had never looked heavier than when it sat alone, unworn, unchosen, unfinished. Because the wedding was not just postponed, a dream had been gently placed on pause. The storm outside the palace walls, but the world had heard, and the word did not stay silent. The news spread like perfume through loyal royal hearts, that the prince food of love. The news spread like perfume through royal hearts, that the prince who ruled of love had chosen his heart over heritage, that his marriage, once whispered, then confirmed, now stood still. Women wept across oceans. They lit candles in secret rooms. They prayed for him like he was theirs, because in a way, he always was. He was the prince who made love feel holy, the man whose pen held softness, the soul who reminded them that royalty could still feel deeply. And now, he was hurting, so they heard with him. Posts folded with blessings, comments overflowed with prayers. They didn't need to know her name. They loved her because she was loved by him. From Syria to Morocco, from Jordan to Jeddah, heart's beat hindered them. For union, the world had already accepted. The storm outside wasn't outrage. It was love, vital and vast, wrapping around the place's walls like a wind that could not be silenced. Wishes in the wind. They wrote him letters they would never send. Anonymous blessings, folded into dua. They whispered his name into moonlight, asking the heavens to be kind. One girl tied a thread to a tree, another baked bread in his name. A mother held her newborn and said, "May you grow to be as loyal as him." These were not followers. These were believers in love, in mercy, in miracles. And their wishes floated like feathers into his dreams at night. He did not know their names, but he felt their warmth. He did not read their words, but he carried their hope. And slowly, what was postponed began to feel like prophecy. Because when the people believe in your love, even the delay feels like divine preparation. Their prayers were not noise. They were threads, sewing courage into his hesitation. Letters he keeps in his heart. He walks with quiet now, but his silence is not empty. It is full of unseen letters. The girl who said, "You taught me men can be gentle." The widow who said, "Your love healed my grief." The fatherless child who said, "You are my reason to believe in God." Men, he never met them, but they live in his heart. He memorized their fate. He stitched their voices into his spine. And when the nights ache the most, he leans into their light. These were not fans. These were fragments of a world that needed his love story to live. So he carries their hope. And in return, he learns how to wait with grace. Because now, it isn't just his wedding. It is a collective wish, a sacred delay, a divine romance, written not just in gold, but in global player. And somewhere, the woman who waits, and somewhere she waits, not bitter, not broken, but wrapped in the same fate that once brought him to her. She wears her silence like silk. She prays without complaints. She holds her head high, even when her heart feels low. She does not knock on the palace gates, nor demanded her name be cleared, because she knows truth does not beg, love does not shout. She simply waits, not for rescue, but for what was already hers. The heart of a man who saw her before the world did. She's not forgotten, she's held. In every verse he never published, in every breath he takes alone, and true they are apart. They are never separate, because some souls are tied not by time, but by trust, and her trust, like her love, his royalty. The prince in private, he smiles for the balcony, waves for the children, sighs his name with a flourish that hides a trembling wrist. But in private, he is quieter now, not weak. He stands at the edge of his thoughts, like a man watched his own life from the outside. The ruby's royal, the crown still gleams, but beneath the jewels is a heartbeat that aches. He reread old letters she wrote him. The ink faded, but the meaning loud. He whispers her name, not as a prince, but as a man longing for the one who still owns every part of him. He questions fate. He challenges the stars. He bargains with the silence, hoping the echo will return her voice. And yet, even in pain, he protects the promise that he will wait, that he will not let the world unwrite their story. Because to him, this pause is not just punishment, it's a preparation for a love so strong, even kingdoms must bow before it. What the crown cannot control. The crown can choose advisors. It can bend borders, sign decrees, command armies, but it cannot choose who you love. It cannot erase the memory of laughter shared over stolen hours, or dreams whispered in the quiet night when no one was watching. The council fears scandals. The court fears change. But he fears a life without her. Because thrones grew cold, kingdoms rise and fall, but love, real love, outlives all law. They told him to choose wisely, but the wisest choice he ever made was letting his soul decide. What the crown cannot control, the heart claims as sacred. And though politics can pause a wedding, it cannot rewrite what has been written. In every look, every promise, every shared silence that spoke louder than royal vows, he would rather wait with honor in his love than rush into a future where she was not besides him. Because titles fade, but the feeling of a hand in his, that's eternal. The wedding, the people still see. No bells rang, no dove were released, no petals covered palace stairs, and yet, across the world, millions saw a wedding, not with their eyes, but with their hearts. A girl in Indonesia bore white and said, "Today is Tete." A boy in Egypt wrote poems and cried because he had never believed in love until now. A woman blessed their granddaughters, telling them, "Find a man who loves you like he does her." Strangers prayed in languages he had never spoken, but somehow understood. They imagined the veil, the vow, the glance he would give her, as if she were all the stars he once named in poetry. They pictured his trembling hands as he held hers, not because he feared, but because he knew this was his forever beginning. He didn't need an aisle. She didn't need a crown. Because the world, the whole aching, watching, loving world, had already crowned her queen in the story they wrote together. And so, though the wedding was postponed, in every post, in every prayer, in every tear, it still happened. They married in the hearts of millions. And no gatekeeper, no delay, no position, no opposition could undo that. Because this love, it lived outside calendars, beyond courtyards, and far past politics. It was already witnessed by the only ones who mattered, the people. Thank you for watching.